Going through hardship with someone definitely like makes you bond with them very fast, because I feel like I've known you for like less than a year, and every time we through the chosen struggle I found a reason for life. I'm just gonna skip that, it's quite cringy.
In context, is because I had my last A-levels paper one day before the marathon.
Yeah.
I travelled somewhere.
So you're saying you weren't treating this seriously at all? You just
No,
let's run a marathon today.
No.
So like 3 hours of running, then I'm not even close to the finish line. What made you keep going?
I think
People are like recognizing you left and right every 10 seconds. Who's this guy? How did you become the man?
No, I'm not the man. Everyone knows Nottingham Malaysian Games, Manchester M Games. It's been around for decades. It's always up north. You don't see one south.
We're both very privileged people. Let's just start with that. We're here in the UK. When you have everything handed to you, it's like, what makes you driven?
When I grow up older, I want to be able to say that, oh, I did this.
Welcome to the first episode of the Daily Climb podcast. As I enter another week of training and my weekly Strava mileage goes back to 0, I'm reminded of the story of Sisyphus, who cheated death and was punished to roll a boulder up a hill, only for it to roll back down, and he has to start all over again, just like my Strava mileage. I feel a sense of kinship thinking about Sisyphus and his struggles, looking at the week of training ahead, and I'm also interested in how others deal with this daily struggle, not only in pursuits of exercise and training, but also in academia and their careers. As I am a Malaysian third-year psychology student in London, many of the topics that we talk about will touch on the Malaysian experience and a bit about psychology. This episode in particular, we talk about the first Malaysian Southeast Games, a multi-sport event being spearheaded by my dear friend Daniel Tan. I've only known Dan for less than a year at this point, but I feel like I've really bonded with him through sharing challenging experiences. I'm talking about like running and exercising, by the way, not like we didn't go to war together or something. We talk about how introducing a daily chosen struggle in life has helped combat depression and nihilism, as well as how he trained for his first marathon amidst A-level. A few more topics outside of running include how he maximized his first year of university, him realizing the first Malaysian Southeast Games, and we ended off the discussion with a talk about leaving a legacy. If you would like to support this podcast, feel free to leave a like and stay subscribed for future episodes. Without further ado, let the climb begin. That was cringe. It was a gloomy evening in the middle of February. We had spent the last 4 hours doing a half marathon along the Seven Sisters cliffs, running, well, mostly hiking, up 800 meters of elevation. The sun was setting and it had been drizzling for what seemed like forever. Soaked in our underlayered jogging clothes, we split an overpriced cheese cone in half from the one shop that was open. The last hurdle was a steep downhill, the same one we enthusiastically sprinted up 4 hours prior. The only difference is that we were shells of the men we once were, and the rain had turned it into a landslide of mud, so we basically stumbled down the entire way. As we sat down and reflected, cold, hungry and tired, I remember you said, and I'm paraphrasing you here, "These are the moments that we will remember. The 1% of people stupid enough to do this, and we will look back and remember this. And this is life." And then we had to run another few kilometers to catch the train back home.
Oh my god.
Daniel, welcome to the podcast. Let's see if you're recording. Okay, we're definitely recording. How are you doing today?
Thank you, I'm good. Thank you for inviting me here.
For sure, bro.
That was very,
it took me like 20 minutes to write this.
Yeah.
And this is a moment that I very well remember very well. I've experienced with you, and it ties into something I've been thinking about, was like the chosen struggle, because we didn't have to do all this, and I feel like going through hardship with someone definitely like makes you bond with them very fast, because I feel like I've known you for like less than a year, and every time we meet, it's always going through some hardship, like whether it be jogging or this Seven Sisters thing, or like frisbee or something. Like going through hardship with someone, I feel makes you bond with them really quick.
For
And
that.
yeah,
Shakir likes to see me suffer. That's all I'm gonna say.
hey, I like to suffer too. That's what I'm saying. I like suffering with you, bro. That's what I'm saying. And yeah, for me personally, like introducing running in my life, it's just I love just waking up and having that chosen struggle. You know, waking up, taking a cold shower, going for a run. Sucks in a moment, but it just gives my life, like, I don't say give meaning, but it's good. It's a good antidote against like depression and nihilism, I find. So like you're a runner yourself, and you're getting back into it after a long hiatus.
Yeah.
What do you feel about like having that chosen struggle in your life, like choosing to do the uncomfortable thing?
I think like how you've paraphrased what I said, the 1%. I paraphrased it from a friend of mine who's
Okay.
a very, very close friend of mine. He's currently studying in Johor, Monash University. He's pursuing medicine. His name is Nicholas. I call him by his Chinese name, Chinwei.
Okay.
He's a person who really pushed me to strive forward, to enjoy the journey. Life's a journey.
Yeah.
And this all came about back in 2021. So this is when all of us actually properly started, getting into running and getting fit ourselves and trying to improve not only our fitness but as well as our minds.
Yeah, sorry, could you come closer a bit?
Sorry.
Just a bit. That's alright. And you trained for a marathon that year, was it correct?
Yes, I trained for a
In
marathon.
the midst of A-level. Tell me about that. How was that experience?
December 2021.
Yeah.
That's marathon was December 2021, Standard Chartered, the usual back in KL.
The biggest marathon in KL.
Biggest marathon in KL. It was virtual at the time, so we couldn't do it in person. However, all the runners did it in Putrajaya, so there was a runner community and everyone got there and we did it all together. So it all started back probably early 2021 when I was doing a jog with Nicholas and another friend. His name is Jordan. I think we hit 4 km at our usual spot in the Sapat City in Bangkok. And he told me, imagine you look at a normal distribution scale, a normal distribution graph. Imagine being in the top 1%, 1 percentile of people doing something that has never been done before by any other people. The 99% will probably not experience this, and life is all about experiences. So that moved me.
It's moving me right now. I'm being moved.
It's not really about a struggle. It's more about experiencing things that makes life very meaningful. And at the end of the day, look back and saying and you think to yourself that wow, I did that. And I experienced that. And when am I going to experience that again? So it's something that you want to do. So
for sure.
Leading up to the marathon, I had A-levels. So I had AS and I had A2. So I did my AS July and I did my A2 in November. This was a very crazy story for me.
Yeah, like how was training for the marathon, like while studying and balancing everything?
I struggled. Not to say I struggled, but I think I wasn't the best at time management.
Okay.
Maybe I picked that fight in the wrong time because A-level is very important for university. I had to come. I wanted to come to UK. I wanted to go to a school that matched my criteria, and I did that. So it definitely it's definitely tough to do the time management. But training for the marathon, I worked hard and I ran every day.
Were there sort of like weekly goals that you wanted to hit, speeds? Like you just ran every day? You
Not
went
speeds.
out
I think it's more towards endurance because I knew that for me it was a mental game because I have been doing sports my whole life. So football, tennis.
Sort of have that fitness base already.
Yeah. So it's more towards training my mindset and towards endurance. And after that 28K, it's all about mindset. So just training that as a whole. Not every day I train with my friends. Some days I train alone, but I think that's part of the journey as well. Not every day you're going to be with your friends.
How do you feel about the difference between training alone and training with your friends?
I mean, come on.
Which one do you prefer?
Training with friends definitely much better. You have that push. Like if, say, I want to stop running. I have someone like you probably to push me and like, don't give up.
Like the Seven Sisters, right?
Yeah, like the Seven Sisters, which I gave up by the way.
No, you did. You finished it. We finished it.
Yeah, I finished it, but I gave up halfway and then you asked me to go.
We finished it. That's all that mattered, bro.
So, definitely training with friends is much, much better, but you're not always going to be with your friends.
Yeah.
You have to learn to survive on your own. So, let's not sidetrack.
I mean, for me, I train mostly alone. That's mostly because I live alone and it's just easier. You don't have to like organize something to go, you want to meet here at the park and go jog. Yeah. And I just want to get out of my room and just go do it myself. Yeah. Obviously it helps with friends for sure. But there is something to be said about like being alone and doing like struggling alone. Yeah. Helps you the mindset a lot. And it's like meditative. When you're with a friend jogging, if it's like a long session, maybe you can you just shut up and then focus on your thing. Yeah. But when you're alone, you're there with your thoughts. Unless you're like listening to something, and these days I've been like running without like audio, like just listening to the world, you know. And it's like good to confront your thoughts once in a while, because these days I never confront my thoughts. When I'm washing the dishes, when I'm doing my laundry, I have a podcast, someone whispering in my ear, like talking about something, or music.
Right.
And like running is like the one time that I get to confront my thoughts, other than when I sleep. Like when I'm trying to sleep, at least. If you just listen to all this stuff all day, then when you try to sleep, all these thoughts will come, and then like you start thinking, and it's hard to sleep and shit. Yeah, that's what I find. So I find that running, like thinking about life while running, definitely helps with my sleep and just being more like, being more present, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of cringy, but I find that it helps a lot. Yeah.
No, but I think biologically it makes sense as well. You know?
Yeah.
Biologically, we are hunters. Humans are hunters.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, and we need vitamin D. You can't just stay
as we were
home.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about it like just now. You know, we need vitamin D. We need to get out there. We need to get the sun. You know, it helps biologically. I don't remember in depth. I did this research with my friends 2 years ago, but now I don't remember it. I'm sure some STEM students can help us with it. But
you mean like you just go out every day and like
you
see if you feel better or not?
Yeah, you definitely get those neuro
endorphins
or whatever.
Economic student, psychology student. Yeah, I mean, wait, psychology is kind of related. Yeah,
but you should get those endorphins from the vitamin D.
No, it's true for sure.
Exercising, you should get all of those. That's why you sleep better at the end of the day. And that's why when I'm stressed or I have a lot on my mind, I run as well. Yeah, that's why I do it recently as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've been running with sunglasses a lot, which is kind of bad because my normal glasses they slip off my face. I do wear sunglasses. I definitely feel it. Like I prefer running with glasses because like it kind of blocks my vitamin D's or whatever. Yeah, I mean, yeah, struggling is a like essential part of life. For sure.
It is.
But okay.
Yeah, it is.
And would you have any tips for me going like for the first marathon? Because I'm training for it currently. I've only ever ran like 18 kilometers max, so it's a long journey still. Like, what's the main tip that you would give for someone who has completed a marathon yourself?
Boss man, my marathon was not very good.
You finished it.
I finished it, yeah, but it was not the best.
It's not optimized.
It's not optimized. In context, it's because I had my last A-levels paper one day before the marathon.
Yeah.
I travelled somewhere to have some fun.
So you're saying you weren't treating this seriously at all? You just let's run a marathon today.
No, I was taking it seriously, but the last moments leading up to the marathon, you know, I had my A-levels paper. Obviously, that was very important to me.
That was your priority.
Yeah, that was my priority. So I had the paper. After that, I went, you know, out of state with someone really special to me at the time.
Okay.
And then I came back really late. Priorities at the time. I came back really late, 12.
Yeah.
And, you know, marathons in KL starts like 3, 4. Woke up, and showered everything, went to sleep. Woke up, 2 something. I barely had enough sleep. My running mates doesn't know this. And I hope they probably won't know any at all.
I mean, yeah.
We were late to reach Putrajaya.
Yeah.
All the runners were meeting there. I need to correct something because I told you I started a marathon at 3, but I actually started at 4 plus. Okay. I left my house at 3. I reached Putrajaya at 4 plus. 4 plus. And then
it starts very early because in Malaysia it's like really hot. Yeah. Like 8 a.m. onwards, so you gotta start really early. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was running on like literally no sleep. So you're asking the wrong person.
No, I mean I'm talking about like the mental game.
Yeah.
Like of actually finishing that distance, even if you completed in like what 5 hours, something like that, right? 6 hours.
Around 5 hours plus. Yeah.
That's a different game compared to like someone who's running it fast, like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
You're out there for double the length, so I think it's a different game as well in terms of it's hard in its own way for sure. Like what kept you going after like 3 hours of running? Then you know, I'm not even close to the finish line. What made you keep going?
I think based on my experience, what we did with my friends and what we did with our group, we had a running group. Obviously there were so many runners, but we had a tight group just for us. I think about 6 of us. We ran up to probably 28 km. That's when I started going off. And 32 km, that's when some people started going off from the group. And then they start running slowly. So when I reached my 28 to 30 km, I met a friend of mine at the sidelines saying, "Oh, how many more?" I said, 14. You? Oh, I'm done.
Right.
That's like 2 hours plus 3 hours in. He's a sub 3 marathoner. He doesn't run from Malaysia, but he goes to Berlin marathons. He goes to marathons. But I think I played a different game. I experienced differently, and by the time of probably 36 km, I reached 36 km. I reached 38 km. There was sunlight and it was blazing hot already. And I think it's more about, well, I've reached these numbers. I've run 38 km, 4 more km. Let's do it. Let's finish it. I can say that I finished a marathon. Okay, my duration wasn't that good, but I can say I finished a marathon, and I've experienced that. And
the 1%. Goes back to the 1%.
Yeah, 1%. No regrets, and it was a very, very good experience. It definitely taught me a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
About resilience, especially resilience, and I ran the last 10k easily alone. And the last 10k was harder than the first 28k. 28k because I was running with my group of friends. It was so much easier. For a matter of fact, the first half marathon, most of the time we were probably talking. So we were running, talk. So much easier. And the last 10k felt like hell. But continued, persevere, and I am finished. I probably finished one of the last among everyone. But
all the competitors? I don't think so.
One of the last, probably.
I think
definitely last in my group.
Wasn't the time limit 7 hours? I think 8 hours.
I'm not sure, but definitely the last in my group.
In your group, yeah.
There were so many runners there, and there were checkpoints. This wasn't done by Standard Chartered. This was done by the running community. So there were checkpoints here, there were checkpoints there. So what we did was we run and made loops around the tutorial.
Yeah.
And obviously I saw people still running, but among my group I was the last one. So I have the second last finished probably half an hour before me. But in my head at the time was, wow, I did it.
And then you are that 1%. You experienced something,
Yeah. Am
so
I going to do it again? I'm not sure. But looking at how we're going, most likely we will.
We will do it end of next year, at least.
Yeah, we have 2 goals.
We're planning to run a half marathon in October. I'm not. Should we just say our goals now? Okay, fuck it.
We'll keep we can say our short-term goals.
Short-term goals. That's pretty short-term, right?
That's pretty
October. Okay, my goal is to hit 135 for the half marathon. What are you?
My goal is to hit 155 for that half marathon.
Okay.
But by December I want to hit 145.
Yeah. I think 155 is very achievable for you now already. It's very reasonable. 135 is a bit crazy, in my opinion, for me. It's a bit crazy, but I'm just aiming for the stars here, aiming for the moon or whatever, and hopefully I get somewhere around there. Yeah.
But I think it's doable for you. You've been training every day.
Hopefully.
You're hopefully trying to beat your PB for 5k next week. 4:05, right?
This weekend. 20:30. I'm trying to do 20 minutes 30 seconds for 5k.
20 minutes 30 seconds divided by 5. That's 4:06.
Yeah. If you saw my last video, I tried to break sub 20. Yeah, it wasn't possible. So I'm gonna go 20:30, trying to go 5k for 20:30, which is, I think, okay.
4 minutes 6 seconds.
4 minutes 5-6 seconds around there. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's doable for you. You've been practicing every day. You ran 10k yesterday at 5-minute pace, and you still ran this morning as a recovery one, and then you're going for another run this afternoon. So I think it's doable for you.
I have that mama mentality right now. I'm running. I'm just going for it, man.
I think also one more thing about running is that it improves your mentality, because not everyone can sit there in silence and run for 5 km. Everyone asks, a lot of my friends ask me, bro, you are boring motherfucker, dude.
Yeah. That's something I guess so
probably have to censor that. But
no, it's okay.
Yeah, you're a boring motherfucker.
That's true. I hear so
run
much.
for 30 minutes and not do anything. Sure, you're listening to music. What are you thinking? I have a lot of things in my life, but at the same time, not everyone can do it.
I think it's boring on comparison to what you do every day. If you just listen to YouTube, you go through your daily life, TikTok, everything. Running is gonna be fucking boring as fuck, because you just remove all this entertainment, and you're just there you're struggling. It's not comfortable. Even if you're on an easy run, it's easy comparison to your hard runs. It's still hard to go in an easy run, right? Mentally to just go there.
Especially nowadays. I say nowadays I've been here for 40 years, but then everyone has TikTok. Why would you run if you go scroll through TikTok and watch 10 videos? 10
exactly.
Minutes, 20 videos. So
I mean, it just goes back to that chosen struggle thing. It's struggle, but it's necessary. I think it helps me a lot with those problems of meaning and shit and nihilism. And through the chosen struggle, I found a reason for life.
I'll say it again.
I'm just gonna skip that. It's quite cringy, but okay. Going back to pivoting away from running.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about your first year of university experience.
Yeah.
So you asked me before this why I picked you for this first podcast after a bit of a hiatus, because I would think that there's a lot of interesting things to learn from you, because in my experience what I've witnessed is that you've had a very successful first year. Okay, just come off first. You've achieved a lot of these things where now you're the vice president of MSOC. You'll be successful in ultimate frisbee. You're I'm quoting you, second in the league in Kent or whatever, and
Second division,
yeah,
not first division. Second
okay,
division.
yeah, but you're up there in ultimate frisbee. You're in an internship now, a really good job, and you still do dumb shit with me, go a half marathon in Seven Sisters, right? So you have a really packed resume. I don't know if people will hire you based on that half marathon, but in terms of the resume, you'll look at probably at the end of uni. You probably, if I was you, I would be pretty happy with what I've done, because you've achieved a lot. And I just want to ask you how do you feel about your first year and how it went? Because that's just how I see it. Again, one more thing I didn't mention is that when we go to events like the M Games, people are recognizing you left and right every 10 seconds, and I have to be like,
No.
Who is this guy?
No.
How do you know this many people and you're you've been here for 5 months?
No.
You just know everyone. I was like, Dan,
No,
and I'm like, how do you know this guy? And then
No.
but I'm like, wow, this is the man right here.
No.
So tell me, how did you become the man?
No, I'm not the man.
You're the man.
No, I'm not the man. I'm not the man. No, I'm not the man. I
Okay,
wish I was the man, but I'm not the man.
Okay, I know you have to be humble a bit, but just accept your greatness and tell me how you be so great.
No, I am not the man. I can tell you right now.
You're my man. You're my man.
There are so many men out there, like the one we spoke about just now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your friend?
No, your friend.
Wait, who are you talking about?
We were talking about your friend.
Okay,
Yeah,
anyways, okay,
but-
okay, never mind. Your man, no man, just tell me how you okay, what do you think about your first year though?
What do you think of my first year?
Yeah.
Ooh, I think
So far. I mean,
think
it ended already, but
yeah, I think the best way to describe it was a roller coaster. Yeah. Obviously you know my personal experience. For first term and second term.
yeah,
both.
lost.
Yeah.
Lost.
So it was definitely a roller coaster of emotions. Coming to university, I did not imagine that I would do what I did, and I did not imagine my first year to be how it was. I definitely imagined it in in a different way. Obviously, I imagine myself trying to get into all the societies, blah blah blah, but just in a different way. I think first year has been very pleasant. I've learned a lot from first year. Just in the 9 months, I've learned so much. But just to clarify, I'm not the man again.
Nothing could go back to that. You're the man.
I'm not the man. I think you said that I did very well in first year. Contrary to that, I did not do very well. I may sound like I do well in a piece of paper, but I think life is not just about a piece of paper. I think there's other factors involving how well you perceive your life, and obviously different people has their own ideas and their own perception of how a good life is.
Yeah.
But
yeah. But
I don't know. I think I don't know how to describe my first year. Yeah.
it's very fresh in your memory, right? It just happened, honestly.
Yeah.
And
And it's like it keeps on going and going and going.
okay,
So,
let me ask you a different question then. How would you advise yourself if you could go back in time?
go back in
Start
time.
off first year, yeah.
Start of first year. Definitely. Ooh, that's a good question. That's a very good question.
Okay. I'll go for mine first. If I go back all the way to first year, oh my god, that's a long time ago already. Shit. obviously the chosen struggle thing is a thing I've learned very recently. I would tell myself, go jogging, but at that time I'd probably just ignore my advice. So it's kind of hard. So to give an advice that you think they would listen to you. I don't know, your younger self. It's hard.
Yeah.
But okay, how about like if you're advising a cousin or something that's coming into first year?
Oh, definitely. That makes it much easier.
Yeah.
Definitely. Try a lot of things.
Yeah.
Don't take things for granted. That's one. Don't take things too seriously, but at the same time, understand your goals and remember your principles.
Yeah.
Obviously, different people have different principles. My principle is one of them. Try to be respectful, responsible, stuff. So remember your principles. Try new things. University is the best place to try new things.
Yeah.
And just enjoy the journey. I think, regardless of university or not, enjoy the journey. And make a lot of friends. I think in university you need to get out there. Yeah. You need to get out of your comfort zone. So there's different stages of zones. First one is a comfort zone, and then there's a probably outside the comfort zone, and there's a learning zone, and then there's a growth zone. Growth zone is the last one. So if you can get to that growth zone and get out of that comfort and make
I think
friends.
something you've done really well is to make friends. Which I mentioned, everyone, like a lot of people know you, right? How do you think you got there, like to knowing a lot of people? Like, what do you do? Like,
I don't think I know a lot of people.
No, me like from the people, all your acquaintances that you know, right? How do you end up knowing them, and like what's your mentality towards networking? I guess at the end of the day, there's networking.
First of all, I don't look at them as networking. I look at them as people in general. Because I feel like there's a difference when you look at someone as a source of networking and as people in general. When you look at them as a source of networking, I think you're looking at them just in primarily thinking about how you can gain from that person. For example, if you're going to work and you want to network with someone from I'm in finance. So I will say a finance company. Say I want to network with someone from JP Morgan. It sounds like I just want to benefit myself from that person.
Yeah.
So in my perspective, I would say I want to make friends with someone from JP Morgan because I want to know how I can help you and how can you help me. How can I learn from you? I think the most important is how can I learn from someone. But in terms going back to making friends in uni first year, I think everything just snowballed from day one. Because day one I joined Malaysian Society, I joined the Frisbee Club. I came to London quite a lot.
Your reasons.
And then I obviously met a lot of friends in London. From there, my friends introduced me to other friends. I went to M Games, met more friends. So introduction of friends to other people, and I think at the end of the day, you just have to be friendly, nice, and respectful. And at the same time, you can be opinionated, but nice and respectful. Which I'm still learning up to this day. I know that in my past, I have not been the most respectful person and not the best person at all, even up to now.
We
but
all have our downfalls.
I think it's just a snowball effect from day one. Yeah, definitely. And
sure.
I definitely did not plan it at all. I definitely just went along with life. What I planned was definitely my grades. Where I wanted to end up, which this summer. Where I want to end up next year. What I want, where I want to stay back in Canterbury. That's what I planned. In terms of who I make friends with, or how many friends I make. That all was a snowball effect.
Okay.
And I mean I can't lie. Even back then, probably September first month for me, was I had a little bit of I'm not sure if anxiety was the right word, but I'm going to use that word right now. Was that, what if I didn't really make
enough friends?
Not say enough friends, but I didn't make good friends. I think the quality of friends, that it definitely defines a person. Like the quote, you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. So what if I can't find that good quality of friends I had back home? I had Nicholas, Jordan to push me to do.
Do you think you found those friends?
I think I'm in the process. Yeah, you're definitely one of them. You're pushing me for a
Sir.
marathoner.
Let's go.
You're pushing me for a marathon. So
Yes, sir.
that's one. But yeah, you can make as much friends as you want, but you need to find the quality that the good kind of friends that
We'll push
first
you.
of all push you. Secondly, you need to look whether their character is good or not. You can't find a very egoistic person because then it will make you an egoistic person because you will be around them most of the time. So you have to find a good balance, and you have to find someone who you think that
For sure.
you can help them and they can help you as well.
Yeah.
So
A lot of wise words there, Dan Tan. A lot of wise words.
So I went. It was a snowball effect, but at the end of the day, I think I'm glad that I was able to choose my friends quite well.
That's good. So much truth in that.
Even in Canterbury.
In all that, you mentioned M Games, right? So you were currently in the process of establishing the first Southeast Malaysian Games.
Yep.
Yeah. So, tell me about that first. Like, what stage in the development of the project you're in right now?
Yep.
And just tell me like what sort of games there's gonna be and who's involved at the moment. Yeah, go on.
Okay, so Southeast Malaysian Games. Everyone knows Nottingham Malaysian Games. Manchester M Games. It's been around for decades. I think
Established.
As well established. I think Nottingham has been around since the 80s, probably even before that. I think Manchester is later than Nottingham. It's always up north. You don't see one south. And even if you see one, well, we saw one in London 2 years ago. It was held in Hyde Park. It wasn't a proper environment. It wasn't in the best environment.
Not like Nottingham where you have like the venues. It was just in the park, right?
It's in the park. It's a public park as well, so you have to respect the public. It's public spaces as well.
Yeah.
You only had two sports, if I remember correctly. It was frisbee and captain ball. Yeah. If I remember correctly. There were a lot of people that attended it because it is London. Yeah. London is a transportation hub. The idea came about probably in March, where I proposed this idea to then Treasurer Hong Yi, as you may know him very well. I told him that why don't we host an M Games, working and collaborating with the different universities in two regions under UKC, but under London is one region, so the Southeast region. So I look at the possibility, how realistic it is. I look at the finance and all that stuff. And
now you just released the first poster for the game, so it's official. You've informed all these universities that you're actually going to go through with this. And so how many spots are there?
7
spots. So what's been your main strategy of getting people to generate engagement for this event?
Ooh, I don't know if I can say that.
No, cannot.
I don't know if I can say that.
Okay, that's fine. Fine.
What I can say is that for M Games, we have 5 phases. We're currently in phase 3. The announcement of our poster on Friday was our transition into phase 3. We delayed that by a week. We had some internal problems. All our partners know about it. By the way, our partners are UCL, Malaysian Society, Southampton Malaysian Society. They call it MSA, Malaysian Student Association of Southampton.
Nice one.
And then in Reading is RAMSOC, so Reading University Malaysian Society. So that's our partners currently. And we had 5 phases. So we were done phase 1, phase 2. We've pushed back phase 3 by a week due to those internal issues. Not with the partners, something else. And then we have phase 4 and phase 5.
And when is the event going to be? Sorry.
28th October.
20th October, okay.
2023.
Okay, what are 7 sports again, sorry?
Football, ultimate frisbee, badminton, basketball, volleyball, touch rugby. 7, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, touch rugby,
Cool.
So netball. Yeah, that was 6. Yeah, netball. So 7,
So this is going to be the first event of its kind. How was did this idea just pop up in your head? How did the idea develop? Did you have a discussion with a friend and you're like, oh wow, okay, this is I want to do something here, or was it just you in your head?
I think it's a mixture of all that. I mentioned to you, I proposed this idea to Hong Yi. I was quite fortunate enough to be able to travel and experience multiple M Games throughout the UK for the past year. I went to Nottingham. I didn't go to Manchester. I went to Bristol. I went to Bristol with you.
Yeah, we did.
Frisbee. I went to Cardiff, and I went to Warwick. So I went to 4 of them. Yeah. So, I figured that why is there no Southeast? Why is there no a good M Games, to say the least, down south? Everything's up north. We're catering to the students up north. How do we cater to London. It's, you know, so Canterbury is relatively
And you
close.
figure, why the hell not? Why not? I just do this. It seems logical when you lay it out like that.
Yeah.
But from having that idea of, okay, why not we have this event, to actually now you're actualizing it is a huge step.
Yep.
You're not vice president and you're pulling the strings, and to actually make it happen, you have the other Malaysian societies collaborate. It's a big move. That's why you're the man.
I'm not the man.
You're the man, bro.
I'm not the
I
man.
respect it. You're like a pioneer. Like this.
I'm
Then
not
like
the man.
10 years when the Southeast M Games is established, they're gonna be like, this is the Dan Tan Award for the sportsman.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not the man.
And then the Shakil Award for whatever you can.
I'm
yeah.
not the man. this is all. It's all a collaborative effort.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of people working on it right now. Based on our partners alone, students, we have roughly 18 of us all working on just M Games. You know, representatives from each university is about 7. And then sports directors, treasurers, marketing team, finance team. So we have 18 that is actively working on it right now. It is only going to go in the next month. Because without spending too much, obviously we have our finance team, which is quite small right now.
Yeah.
But we need to expand that to, gather more things for finance. I can't really say too much.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah.
Okay, so what drove you from going from the idea to actualization? Because it's not an easy process, I imagine.
Yeah.
Actually doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like what was the motivation there? Because you're not really like. I remember you told me that. When I look back on this, will I regret it? Spending so much energy and time. Why not just relax, right? And but instead, you're doing this M Games. It's like it's gonna benefit a lot of people outside of you. Not necessarily like a lot of personal benefit in terms of like just enjoying life.
Yeah.
So what's your drive there?
I think to begin with, when I ran for president, and I got vice president, I didn't run just for my CV.
Yeah.
I ran because I wanted to contribute to the community in Kent. It has done very well for me when I was there. Helped me a lot actually. So, obviously there's a lot of reasons, but I think the most simple reason is that serving.
Serving.
Serving to the members, serving to the community, serving to Malaysians across the UK, serving to Malaysians in London. Kind of experience in London.
It ties into something that the last topic I want to talk about, legacy. So it's something we talked about over a meal like a couple of weeks ago, and okay, I don't know if I want to mention this, but you mentioned to me a monetary goal by the end of You mentioned to me a goal of money that you want to achieve by the end of.
Let's
not speak about that. Yeah, okay.
No, let's not speak about the figure.
I'm not speaking about the figure, but you have a set amount that you want to like make, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. And you mentioned to me about legacy and wanting to leave a legacy. So we're both very privileged people. Let's just start with that. We're here in the UK, Malaysians, and extremely privileged. Have lived lives of real good lives, and a lot of people in our position, like not that we are the best people ever, but they okay, let's just restart that. Okay, a lot of people in our position would be content and like just accept life, because when you have everything handed to you, it's like, okay, I feel good, and that's something that I've been experiencing a lot, for sure. Like just being content, because you don't need to have that drive. And what makes you driven, coming from an affluent background, let's say?
First of all, I wasn't always like this. Back in high school, I was very, very comfortable. But
Yeah.
I understand that I am privileged, and it all boils down back to our first discussion, marathon. So, at the end of the day, when you grow up, when you're older, much older, you look back. Do you just want to sit around? Let's be real. Okay, let's be real. Us privileged kids.
Yeah.
Not that real. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, us privileged kids. Do you want to sit around and look and we played with all of daddy's money? I mean, sure, we're privileged enough that they are helping us with our education and all that.
Sure.
We were lucky to be born into this kind of families. But when I grow up older, I want to be able to say that, oh, I did this. sure, I can say I had the help of my parents, which I will definitely have the help of my parents. I'm reading this book right now that says that I forgot what's the title of the book, actually. It's in my back. But
Okay.
it says that everyone is they have different experiences. They were born differently, so maybe they have different luck and all that.
Yeah.
And we were fortunate enough to be able to have access to this kind of knowledge, have access to this kind of freedom, financial freedom probably. Yeah, at the end of the day, do I want to live off daddy's money and daddy's property? Sure, that is nice, but I definitely want to create something for my own. I definitely want to live a life more fulfilled than... I'm not saying that those who live off daddy's money are not fulfilled. Yeah, I'm not saying that. But yeah, I want to live a life where I can create my own saying, my own I could say legacy.
Legacy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't want to just sit back and relaxed and just spend daddy's money.
And it was a marathon that made you realize that.
No, it's actually my friends.
Your friends,
Yeah.
who you trained a marathon with.
Yeah, it's with my friends because and that goes back to saying that who you be around is very important.
Yeah.
Like
For sure.
I went to high school and then I went to college. I met my friends I met those friends in college again because back in primary I went to a school called Sri Story. And then I went to SriKdu. And then I went to Sunway College. And a lot of my friends from Sri Story went to Sunway College as well. So I reconnected with them. Firstly, I reconnected with Nicholas.
Yeah.
He introduced me to everyone else after that. And then, yeah, they just strive to be as the best that they can. And all of them came from different backgrounds. Not all of them are as privileged as I am, but they still do strive to be the best they can. And
sure.
it is profiting them right now. Although obviously it's tough mentally when you see a lot of your friends enjoying all that, but who you're around is very important.
For sure.
That's the end game. Yeah.
I mean, on leaving a legacy, I was that guy who was comfortable with life. A lot of things were handed to me, but it just led to a lot of depression and nihilism for sure. Like now with running was the main thing that drives a lot of other things.
Yep.
Like I'm trying to get back into like YouTube and this podcast thing, and like running was sort of the fire that stoked everything.
Yeah.
For sure. And and like when you think about it, so much of life is just random as hell. Like you reconnected with your friends from Sri Basari and eventually, and like just even like just us sitting here, so many random events had to coincide for us to meet.
Yeah.
Like I met you because you in the uni that my girlfriend goes to, right?
Yep.
And if I didn't meet my girlfriend, I wouldn't have met you. Like there's so many things that had to go right for us to be here.
Yeah.
To sit down and be talking in this podcast. Like if you didn't invite me for that jog that one time like a couple months ago, maybe we wouldn't be here. It's like there's so many like in the multiverse, there's so many like events that could have happened.
Yeah.
Instead we're living this one.
Yeah.
So I think this is why this is special. This moment right here is special.
Oh man.
Alright, bro. I think that's a perfect place to end it. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thank you so
I
much for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
Come on. Alright.